Writing online isn't about being good with words anymore. It is about making money with it. I've been writing for about 6 years now. I've been content writing, script writing, copywriting, and ghost writing. And all of that combined has generated millions of dollars for my clients. And in this video, I'm giving you the 7 specific writing skills that you absolutely need. I am not talking just theory here. I am talking about practical, actionable skills that I've used to build my writing business and help my clients get real results. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what you need to focus on to level up your writing. But before that, hit that like button if you're tired of generic writing advice that doesn't even actually help you make money. And of course, subscribe because I drop content that actually moves the needle for writers like you every single week. So the first one on the list is research and argument building. Research is like the foundation of a house because without it, even the prettiest words will eventually collapse under pressure. Let me tell you about 2 personal injury lawyers that are selling the exact same service. So the first one's website says, "We fight for you and win cases." And the second website says, "Our clients receive settlements 41% higher than the state average because we document 87% more medical evidence during the critical first 72 hours after an injury." So if you are on the market for a lawyer, which one would you call if you got hurt tomorrow? Just think about that. Of course, you would choose the second one. This is what deep research and strong argument building looks like. It's not about having opinions, it is about having the facts that nobody else has bothered to find because people appreciate it if they find actual answers to their problem because that's how you build value. Because the truth is, your opinions don't mean so. I know research isn't fun, but it's what gives your content substance, all right? It's what transforms you from a bullshitter to someone who actually knows. When you research properly, your arguments become bulletproof. You are not just saying, "This works because I say so." You are proving it with evidence, all right? Examples and clear reasoning. And of course, this is what AI cannot do, or so for the meantime. The second one on the list is effective communication. So effective communication is like having the skeleton key to a mansion instead of just peeking through the windows. You get me? Here are 2 different approaches to interviewing an expert. So the first approach is like this. So tell me about content marketing. So it's a general question. But let's see a second approach. You're gonna ask, what's the most counterintuitive content strategy you've seen work that most people wouldn't take to try? So if you think about it, the first gets you generic answers that anyone could Google, quite frankly. So the second uncovers what AI or Google cannot find. You can't find it in Google, right? Because that is personal. It is the gold that nobody else has. Remember that. This is what effective communication looks like. It is the difference between creating content that's just exists and content that has personality. You need to know how to ask the right questions because he has philosophies that other creators don't have. It is unique to him. So what we do is we record when he is talking and then we use that as a material when we write scripts. And that what makes our content on that particular channel valuable because the best writers aren't just good with words. They are good with people. They know how to extract data that's hiding in other people's experiences and of course, expertise. Because that's what makes a writer a top of the line writer. That's what businesses are looking for. And that's how you can make money online through writing. The next one on the list is writing with clarity. Writing with clarity is like a clean window. It's not about what you see. It's about seeing through effortlessly to what matters. Look at these two descriptions for the same exact software product. So the first one says our proprietary algorithmic methodology facilitates the
Expeditious extraction of actionable intelligence from disparate data repositories, enabling optimization of strategic decision-making protocols.
I even got tired reading that. That's how awful it is. Now, look at this. Our AI software finds hidden patterns in your data so you can make better decisions faster. The first one makes you work to understand it. The other just gives you the damn point. And I even got tired just reading the first one, to be honest with you. And this is what writing with clarity is. And it's not about dumbing things down. It's about respecting your reader's time and, of course, their intelligence. And I tell you, they will appreciate it. And if you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. Okay? Listen, nobody gives a how smart you sound if they can't understand what you are saying. Alright? Remember that. Your job isn't to impress people with your vocabulary, it's to communicate ideas so clearly that they can't be misunderstood. That is what we are aiming for as writers, all right? I even remember this post about a pageant of a university here in our locality. The post is just full of flowery words that even I couldn't understand without reading a dictionary. It blew up. The post blew up, but not because it is written well. It's because it sounds pretentious. It blew up because it sounds so pretentious that people was even angry at it. In that particular example, that is not good writing. People actually are mad just by reading that piece. So don't do that. So just don't. Of course, if you think about it, if you make it that it's easy to understand, it makes the readers or the viewers think that they are smart because they can understand immediately what you're talking about. Just think about it. It's like having the confidence to say exactly what you mean without hiding to such fancy words and the complexities of grammar. So the next one on this list is grammatical accuracy. Grammar mistakes are like spinach in your teeth during a job interview. It doesn't matter how qualified you are if that's what they remember you about. Imagine you are about to invest $5,000 in a business coach and you visit their website and you see something like this. There are many ways to improve your business. We help entrepreneurs achieve their goals. Now, I will ask you, are you still gonna spend that $5,000? If it were me, I won't. That right there speaks unprofessionalism. That basically discredits the entire website or the entire business. That's how critical it is. See, it's not about being a language snob, right? It's about the credibility. I get it. This sounds basic as hell, but you'd be shocked how many professional writers can't nail the fundamentals. And I'm not saying you need to be perfect. I make mistakes. But there's a difference between an occasional slip up and content that's riddled with errors. That's not just acceptable. Who would want to pay you for that, right? So, fair or not, grammar errors make you look sloppy and unprofessional. It destroys your credibility before you even get a chance to make your point. And see, you can use available resources and tools like Grammarly, for example, or AI, ChatGPT, Claude, etc. There's so many tools out there that can help you check your grammar and spelling. So why not use it, right? But whatever you do, don't skip this step because it will cost you literally money and opportunities, right? Because you will lose credibility by doing this. I have this happen to me before. I was making a script about like how to write a scripts and I fucked up a few words. The boss got angry with me and he says that it was so unprofessional and it was not done correctly, etc., etc. My feelings got hurt. See, I learned it the hard way, and it can literally cost him his credibility if that was not found out earlier. Imagine that millions of viewers will view that particular content and there's grammar errors and you are teaching them about script writing. That is actually the worst mistake I could do. But we fixed it and now everything is okay. And of course, I learned my lesson. I use tools now. I use Grammarly always, ChatGPT, Claude, etc., etc. Now, let's go to the next one. Creating logical flow. Good flow is like a perfectly planned road trip. Each stop naturally leads to the next, and you never feel lost along the way. It's like a map. Now, read this two paragraph. The first one is content marketing can increase website traffic by 300%. Many businesses struggle with finding the right content writer. SEO is critical for visibility. The average person spends 7 seconds deciding whether to read your content. Now, let's read this version. The average person spends just 7 seconds deciding whether to read your content. That's why finding the right content writer is such a struggle for many businesses. A skilled writer creates SEO optimized content that actually gets seen. When done right, this approach can increase your website traffic by up to 300%. It's the same damn information, but completely different experience. My mind got hurt reading the first one. See, this is what logical flow looks like. It's the difference between content that confuses and destroys brain, turns it into mush. And compare that to the content that actually makes money. The second one, you are taking your reader by hand and guiding them through your ideas in a way that it actually makes sense, not just some random you put there and here. So, it's the same information, completely different impact, okay? The first example jumps randomly between ideas with no connection at all. The second creates a logical progression that leads the readers through a coherent thought process, okay? Because flow is about transitions and it's about making sure that each paragraph flows naturally from one to the other. It's about creating a content experience that is so smooth that readers don't even realize they are being led to an actual point or being led to be sold an item, a product, or a course. Because that's how businesses operates. And you should know that if you want money. Okay? So the next one on this list is originality. I know it's so basic, but just listen because most of the writers don't do this now. Okay? Being original in content is like being that one person who brings tequila to a wine tasting, right? People might have shown up for the Cabernet, but they'll remember you for bringing some unique items. Now, compare these YouTube titles on the same topic, right? So the first one is 10 tips for better content writing versus this, why your content writing isn't making any money and the uncomfortable fix. Or this opening line, content writing is an important skill for online businesses. Versus this, the last content writer I fired cost my client $14,000 in lost revenue because she couldn't do these 7 things right. This is what originality looks like. It is like finding the unique angle. It is personal, it is unique, and it is different to a sea of the sameness in the online world right now, especially in YouTube. One example is this script that I wrote that is about remote jobs, okay? And it is entitled 9 Boring But High Paying Remote Jobs, Always Hiring 2025. So it was titled like differently from all other content out there about remote jobs, or just by saying 9 remote jobs in 2025. So that's boring, right? So what we did is we changed the title to be original. Now, that particular script is now the number 1 content in my client's YouTube channel. It has an amazing 4.9 million views at the moment and is still growing. Just imagine that, 4.9 million views. And of course, it's not just about the title, it's about the content. It's about applying all the skills that made it to that particular script, okay? And that's how these skills will help you write content. It makes valuable content that is viral material, okay? you must remember these skills, okay? Put it in your head. Let's go to the most important part of writing in 2025. This is the most important skill that you should learn immediately if you want to earn money online, okay? Especially in YouTube, because all creators right now is selling something, okay? This skill is marketing knowledge, okay? You must know marketing knowledge. You must know marketing or the basics of it. As a writer, you should and must learn about it because it is like building a Ferrari with no engine. It is beautiful craftsmanship that is not going anywhere if you don't have it, okay? Now, check out these two conclusion paragraphs from an article about productivity tools. Okay, listen closely. In conclusion, these productivity tools can help you work more efficiently. Each has its own strengths and weaknesses, so choose the one that works best for your needs. Now let's read the second version. Ready to 10x your productivity? Start with Tool A if you are struggling with email overload. Use code PRODUCTIVE for 20% off. If task management is your biggest headache, Tool B will be a game changer. And don't forget to download our free productivity toolkit comparison chart to find your perfect match under 5 minutes. So you see the first one just completely ends right there. And the second generates leads, of course, because there is a lead magnet. There are affiliate commissions and builds an email list. So that's the purpose of the lead magnet. So a warm lead, affiliates, and even lead magnets that builds an email base for you. See, those are the things that brings money to businesses, okay? Especially in the online space. And most especially in YouTube. Most creators right now do that. Now, if you want to know more about this, we actually teach people how to write for YouTubers that are or creators that made YouTube as their businesses, okay? We teach writers how to write for YouTubers. Not just script writing, but writing for a creator, okay? Creator that sells something. And that's what makes money. And that's what I do. Okay, if you want that, then click the link below and schedule a one-on-one coaching with me. So let's get back to the topic. This is what, like, as I said, this is what marketing knowledge looks like. See, it is understanding that words is not just words anymore, especially in today's world. Okay, they are assets that should generate results. So every word you utter should generate result. That is copywriting. And you should know about copywriting because it is directly linked in marketing. Okay, this is where many writers fall short nowadays. They think their job is just to write pretty words, poems, books, and quotes. Okay, no, that's not it. Because in marketing, especially in copywriting, the simpler the words, because we talked earlier about simplifying your words, right? But if you don't understand how those words fit into a marketing strategy of your client or a business, you are just creating art, not assets. And maybe art can be purchased in millions, but I don't think your right will be purchased for millions of dollars. So if you want to make money writing, learn this skill, okay? This skill is an asset, okay? You need to approach writing with a purpose. This will be different for every client, mind you. But if your client wants leads, then you cater to that need in the way you write. Okay? You need to understand what your client needs. Because understanding marketing transforms you from a vendor to a partner. It makes you valuable for your client. And most business owners don't mind paying you if you bring value to the table, okay? And that is what you should do. Learn these skills. It's the difference between writing what the client asks for and writing what gets results, because businesses only wants results. They don't need your fancy words, your fancy grammar. They want results. And when I say results, I mean sales, leads, email list. That's what we are on about. So, if you are serious about making real money as a writer, I can help you develop these 7 skills faster than you'd figure them out on your own. I've got a one-on-one consultation where I personally coach you on how to write so that you can earn money online, especially in 2025. The coaching is just coaching, no fluff, no theory, just practical skills that you can apply immediately to start asking for higher rates and to start earning money, basically. If you don't know how to earn money online in 2025, then book a call down below for a one-on-one consultation. Okay? Spots are extremely limited because of the time I have at the moment. I'm a law student, as I mentioned, and of course, so that I can focus on improving your writing. Okay? So click the link in the description below, book a call, and let's see if you are a good fit. Okay? Look, mastering these 7 skills isn't easy. It takes time, practice, and a willingness to keep improving. Yeah, it's just that. But they're learnable, every single one of them, okay? The writers who are making real money, building real careers, and creating real impact, especially on businesses, all have these skills. And you should know them. Because I know this. You should know them as well. The ones that are struggling to find clients and command decent rates don't know this. And maybe you don't know this. That's why you don't get clients that pay you well. So, which kind of writer do you want to be? The broke one or the one who can pay his bills? If you found this video valuable, check out my video on 5 best writing platforms that pay beginners right here.